everybody, it's Elektra again. I'm back. I told you guys I would be back later today at 7 to talk about my 3 evergreen tips for a successful petition. Now, these tips are not going to be like very specific to the petition, and I think you guys all know why I can't do that. I can't do that because I'm a lawyer and I can't give you specific advice on how to fill out forms, and I don't even answer questions without a consultation. But what I'm going to give you are 3 principles, 3 guiding mantras that are present in all of my cases. And this is the approach that I have with all of my clients. Now, the first approach is, or the first pillar, or the first thing that I think that is important to have is to understand that you, number one, need to be technical. When I mean be technical, I mean you want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. So this means adhering to the technical requirements of the O-1. Now, this might seem obvious or it may not seem obvious, but what I mean about this is I mean you want to make sure that you have all of the requisites. Now, having all of the requisites, of course, does not mean that you filed a successful case. It is just the baseline, just making sure that you have what is required of you to submit what would be potentially a successful case. There are many times where cases are filed where there's missing future work, right? Future work is a requirement. You cannot file for the O-1 without having the basis of future employment. So, or maybe I'll give you an example. A client filed his case on his own and got an RFE and had to come to me. And there are certain things that were included that I could not change because they're already on the record. So you want to make sure that you have all of the technical elements in place. So you have your contracts, you have your immigration forms, you have your premium processing form. You have all of these technical requirements to make sure that your petition right off the bat is not deficient. Basically, what does this mean? It means that you want to have some sort of petition that meets the minimum threshold, not deficient, i.e. not rejected. So you want to be technical. The second pillar, or the second mantra that you should employ is being organized. Being organized is something that does not come very easily to a lot of us. And it also doesn't come easily to us to organize our work. Many times, I would say 9 out of 10 times when I'm having a strategy session with somebody, they're going to talk to me about something that is not included within their CV. Now, this could be due to poor organizational skills, poor analytical skills, not thinking that this was important, but you have to be extremely organized in the presentation of your petition. Organized means that you have everything properly. Everything has its own place. You know, when you're cleaning your house, everything has its own place. So when you're putting together your case, you want to make sure that the portfolio is together and it's not mixed up with, for example, your contracts. Again, this might seem obvious to some people, but I have seen many petitions very poorly organized, meaning that the thought process that the officer is going to employ is going to be very chaotic, very difficult, very nonlinear, and you really don't want to confuse the officer. You want to make sure that you're presenting something that is not deficient, right? That is meeting the minimal threshold. And when you're mixing up different elements of the case together, you're making it so that it's kind of just like a big pile of worms. And this is not something that is, unique to artists. Like I said, I've seen attorneys file cases this way. So you want to make sure that your petition is very properly organized. And the third pillar, the third guiding light that you should employ or that you should consider utilizing when you're working on your O-1 is this aspect of storytelling. Now, this is actually something that is really important. It's actually something that's going to be utilized throughout your whole life, throughout your whole career. This aspect of telling your unique story, telling your unique viewpoint, telling your unique approach to the work that you do. As we all know, there are a million actors, there are a million graphic designers, there are a million tattoo artists. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that you stand out compared to the other people in your field. Make sure that you are telling a unique story that makes you stand out, that elevates you from the masses that are applying for the O-1. Now, storytelling requires strategy, tactic, and coordination, and obviously a really strong understanding of the facts. Now, this is something that I think if you're going to walk away from anything, you want to walk away with understanding that when you're presenting your case, you are presenting a compelling and persuasive story supported with facts and evidence. This is the approach that I have. This is how I approach and how I look at all of my cases. And this is why I said that these are the 3 evergreen tips that I'm going to give you, because they're not tips that are unique to a specific petition, but they are overarching guiding principles that set the foundation for the type of case that you want to file, which is a successful case. So what I always talk about and what I think is the best approach to the case is to just frame the work or frame your approach in these 3 pillars. Be technical. Make sure that you have all of the technical requirements in place so that you are not deficient from the get-go. Number 2, make sure that you are properly organized. Make sure that your petition, not just the portfolio, but make sure the petition is properly organized. And number 3, really approach the portfolio as a storytelling exercise. A storytelling exercise where you're focusing on the details. The devil is in the details, and that is what's going to make you stand out. So those are my 3 tips. Be technical, be organized, and be a storyteller so that you can approach the O-1 and the artist visa in a successful manner, in a manner that is rewarding. Because it is such a labor-intensive process, you want to make sure that you're putting all of your effort into it so that you get the result that you want. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow, and I really hope that I can touch upon more individual aspects of the case and have more discussions on contracts and agents and work and portfolios, etc. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I will be live, but today I was live twice to give you 2 sets of evergreen tips for the portfolio and evergreen tips for the overall O-1 petition. Thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow.